So I tried one saving strategy for the past 3 months now. It's one that I have ignored for a long time, and it did help me save more money. But I also experienced firsthand why this saving strategy has its downsides. So in this video, I'm going to share all of that with you. I'm Sophia. I've been learning about personal finance and investing for more than a decade now. So I have tried my fair shares of saving strategies. And one strategy I really just recently discovered or rediscovered. It takes just a few seconds really, but you have to be careful how you handle it. And here's another part of my intro. And on this channel, we explore tips and strategies on how to build wealth without living frugal. If that sounds like you, consider subscribing. So when I first started to learn about personal finance, so in the very beginning of my journey, one of the very first things I learned was to pay myself first. And that is not the strategy I'm talking about here. Stick with me, but this is what I learned. So pay myself first, which simply means to save money. And when I say save, I always mean save and invest so it can grow. So save that money right at the time when I receive my income. And that, in my opinion, still is the most powerful saving strategy out there. So if you're not doing that already, I do recommend you start now. And it is so powerful because you take care of it immediately. So you would transfer the money right when you have it, and then it's done. It's out of the way. You don't have to think about it anymore. And you're saving consistently because, you're taking the same amount of money every time. So this saving strategy, paying yourself first, just makes saving so simple and easy. And I still do that. Now, for all those reasons I just mentioned, I never saved money at the end of the month because it had been so demonized in my head that I never did that. And as the only saving strategy, it also doesn't work because, first of all, usually there's nothing left. And it makes us dependent on willpower. So we try so hard to not spend any money during the whole month. So it's on our mind the whole time, and it takes energy, and it's tiresome, and eventually we give in and we spend it all. And then another month goes by without saving and investing. And even if there's something left, it does make saving inconsistent because how much is left is different all the time. You know what I mean? But then about 3 months ago, I looked into my bank account at the end of the month. So it was like 1 or 2 days before my next salary would arrive. And to my surprise, there was something left, more than usual. And that is so unusual for me because I do save and invest at the beginning of the month. And that is a very tight calculation. So the majority of times there really is nothing left at the end of the month. I remember this one time, I think I had only like €2 left in my checking account because I had saved and invested so much in the beginning already. Anyway, that was also the reason why I just never looked. So this was a total coincidence that I, checked my bank balance so shortly before the new salary arrived. And then I was like, And then it got me thinking, at that time, all of my expenses from that month were already covered. So I had already paid for everything that I needed, and there was no restriction really. So that money left in my bank account was pretty much extra. And then I thought, okay, might as well put it to work. So I transferred that money to my investment account. And there's a bonus tip I'll share with you in a minute. And I also realized, this method really takes just a few seconds. You open your banking app, you look at the balance and you transfer it. So the one strategy that I rediscovered obviously is to save at the end of the month or whatever that time is before you receive the next salary. And this can be powerful, and it made me save more money because I already paid myself in the beginning, so I paid myself first. Now I already have peace of mind that I'm growing my wealth consistently. So I do not just save what is left after spending, but I save 2 times. I save at the beginning of the month and then again at the end of the month, so I have 2 wins. Real quick, obviously that only works if you use them combined together. So I do not recommend, for all the reasons I already mentioned, to only save at the end of the month, all right? And now here's my bonus tip. If you have known me for a while, you know that I am big on celebrations and rewarding myself. So I do not transfer 100% of that money to my investment account, but a small portion of that money, like 20%, 30%, sometimes also 50%, goes into my fun account. And from that fun account, I buy things that I really enjoy. And I mean, that's what makes the financial journey fun, no? Theoretically, I could celebrate immediately and give myself a treat that there was something left. But I, at the moment, have a new handbag on my shopping list. So I rather not spend that money immediately, but rather later for the handbag. But it's equally rewarding to put that money into my fun account. Now, I was mentioning a caveat in the beginning, and I do have to say, now that I have been practicing that for a while, I did notice that I'm thinking about how much I'm spending much more. So much more often than before, and in a way, it's almost stressing me out. Like, oh no, I don't want to spend on this thing because then I have more at the end of the month that I can put towards my, my wealth accounts and my fun account. And I also caught myself calculating, how much I still need to pay for things. And it's funny because I never had that before when I was only paying myself first. And I totally get now why this waiting till the end of the month really is stressful. Because especially when you are ambitious when it comes to, wanting to build your wealth, this can become draining. I think more draining than it needs to be. So I think this does work when you really remind yourself that, you know what, I already saved and invested at the beginning of the month. If there's nothing left, that's totally fine, because I already know I took care of the saving and investment part. And in case if there's something left, then you can get excited, that there's something left, and then you can allocate it to those accounts. But if you start feeling pressure, to not spend on anything so that you can have more left at the end of the month, I would probably even say, you know what, stick with the other method and the other method only. Because I think what's more important than actually putting money towards our investment accounts is keeping the journey fun. And to stress about not spending money is not my definition of fun. So if you find yourself to be more playful with the pay yourself first method only, then that's totally fine. I think I'm going to try it for a few more months and then, observe how I'm reacting to those two savings strategies, methods, and then I will reevaluate. Either way, both those saving strategies do require a specific account structure. If you want to learn more about that, then I recommend this video next. And if you do try it out or have already tried it out, let me know in the comments how it went for you, because this was a really interesting dynamic I experienced. Either way, hope this helps, and I see you in the next video. Bye bye.